Hi there, this is an example of a compound inequality with fractions. I thought we would do the one with fractions, or at least one of them with fractions, because I know how much you guys hate fractions. But you got to remember, guys, your calculators are your friends. They will take care of you. You got to treat them right for the next 4 years. You need to have those calculators. So we're going to do, this is one of your problems, but I think it's one of your worksheets, so we're going to just take care of 26/45 less than x plus 16 over 9 less than or equal to 34 over 9. There are a number of ways to do this. In fact, I'm going to real quick walk you through one, not completely, but you could actually, if you wanted to, just subtract 16/9 from all three parts. Remember, when you're solving compound inequalities, you just kind of treat them like three-sided equations, especially the ones that are written in the and format like this. And your calculator absolutely will solve this for you. So like if you wanted to just do 26, you can enter it just 26 divided by 45 minus 16 divided by 9, and it'll give you a negative 1.2, and then you can hit math, enter, and you can get a fraction, so you get negative 6/5 less than x, because that cancels there, less than or equal to, and again, 34 divided by 9, you don't even have to use the fraction button, minus 16 divided by 9, you get a 2 there, okay? So that is one way to solve it. It's the easiest, fastest way. The other way to do it, and I'll switch over to blue just to kind of remind you, and I'll switch it over onto the other side. If you want to deal with the numbers, but you don't want to deal with fractions, what you can do is find your biggest denominator, and your biggest denominator right here is 45, and you do know that 9 will go into 45, so what you can do is actually just, let me switch back to my pen, multiply everything by 45, and you have to properly distribute it to everything that's in your inequality, okay? So again, the red part was one way to solve it. We'd already gotten the answer, but this blue part, I'm showing you just another way to solve it. And when you distribute, remember, your calculator is still your friend. When you are distributing a number to a fraction, please remember that it actually just goes, it's going to be 45 times the 26, then divided by the 45, right? When you do this, and actually, again, your calculator, you can do 45 times the 26 divided by 45. You have to remember that you are not, this 45 does not go both to the 26 and to that 45. It's just go into that numerator. So 45 times 26 divided by 45. Then you'll do 45 times x. You'll do 45 times the 16, then hit divide by 9. 45 times the 34, and divide by 9. And so I'm going to, again, in blue, because this is the second way to solve it, you would get a 26 less than 45x plus, you get a, I think that's an 80, let me just double check, yep, it's an 80, and then less than or equal to 170, okay? And at that stage, it's now just still a compound inequality, and you can just solve it as is. You would subtract 80 from all three, not technically sides, but kind of like if you think of it as sides. Sorry about that 8 over there. So you get a 26 minus an 80, you get a negative 54. So negative 54 less than 45x less than or equal to, what is that, 90? Yep. And then you just divide all three parts by 45. Okay. And so negative 54 divided by 45 should give me my 1.2, or my negative 1.2. And remember, guys, math, enter, enter. Math, enter, enter. It'll change your decimal to a fraction. So you get negative 6/5 less than x less than or equal to 2. Okay, again, just red was one way to solve it. The blue was another way to solve it. And either way you solve it, you still have to graph it. So we'll switch over to purple if my iPad works for me. And so then negative 6/5, you know, that's just a little bit past negative 1 because it's negative 1.2. So roughly right here-ish. Oops, sorry. That's got to be an open circle. Sorry about that. I always make my stuff above the line just so you can see it. You can actually put it right on the line. That's totally fine. And then when you do the negative 2, it should be a closed circle because that part is or equal to. And then you connect the two. Okay?